What's good, Citrus fans? This is your boy, Tone DESHIELDS II, and you guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just gotta charge it to the game. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe for more content, especially if you're new, and if you guys have been loyal to the channel, loyal to the soil from the very beginning. You already know what my heart is, and you know how we get down here, Chalk It Up, and make sure you guys go check out that Chalk It Up merch shop as well. I'd be so grateful for the support, as you already know. The links are available down below in the description. But without further ado, let's hop right into the content. I want to talk to you guys about the future, the potential future of one of our most dominant players that we've ever had on defense, and that is Fletcher Cox. The defensive tackle is entering his 10th year, his 10th season in the NFL, and he's going to be turning 31 mid-season. But that begs the question, just how much does he have left in the tank? Just how much are the Eagles willing to commit to him in the long term, especially an aging defensive tackle who has always been second in line when it comes to Aaron Donald? Now, Aaron Donald came in two seasons after him, so he has a little bit more youth. He has more youth on his side, but nonetheless, Aaron Donald has proven to be much more dominant, and he's proven to be much more in tune with what his body requires to be successful. Now, Aaron Donald is essentially undersized for the position. He's not the tallest guy. Fletcher Cox has him when it comes to height. But Fletcher Cox, when it comes to just being a physical specimen, Aaron Donald has him beat by far. And the Philadelphia Eagles are starting to come to a crossroads with Fletcher Cox. Most likely he's entering his most pivotal season of his career, because in 2022, after the season, he's going to have a major cap hit. And the Eagles are going to have to decide, are we going to trade him? Are we going to let him go? What are we going to do? Are we going to extend him? Now, in my humble opinion, I feel as though since we're moving into this new chapter of the Philadelphia Eagles era, since we're entering the Nick Sirianni era, the Jonathan Gannon era, the Shane Steichen era, the Jalen Hurts era, the Devontae Smith era, I think it's about time we begin to clear the books of contracts that are causing more harm than good. Now, this by no means is a slight to Fletcher Cox. Fletcher Cox has been a dominant figure on his defense his entire career. He's helped lead his team to a Super Bowl. He's led by his play. He's been a legitimate run stopper. You can't run past that guy without him getting hands on you. But the only thing about his career that's always been lackluster is the sacks. Now, sacks aren't necessarily the only way to measure a guy's effectiveness. There's so many other ways to measure that. He's definitely been effective. He's been the best defensive tackle in football outside of Aaron Donald. But the Eagles, especially if they're trying to get younger, especially if they're trying to get the contracts situated and get some more cap space, especially going into the 2023 season beyond 2022, they should really consider moving on from Fletcher Cox. And again, this is no way, shape, or form saying that Fletcher Cox is not a great player. There's no way saying I've been ungrateful for what he's done for this city, done for this team. He has been an anchor on defense. He has been one of the brightest spots on defense that we've ever had. You know, he's been mostly healthy for his career. I think in the past 2 seasons, he's only missed like 1 game. But he has had surgeries. He has had lingering injuries that have bothered him. But we have to really take into consideration this man is going to be 31 mid-season, and do we really want to commit long-term money to a defensive tackle who's aging, who isn't necessarily the most how do you say, in shape per se, when you compare him to Aaron Donald, who's just a freak. I know that's high regard, but, you know, the Eagles, based on what I've read, they've always, or lately rather, they've had questions about whether Fletcher Cox is really doing the most he can when it comes to being in peak form, preventing injuries per se. I feel like the Eagles ultimately should move on past Fletcher Cox after the 2021-2022 season and clear the books of that. Maybe trade him, try to get some assets, or maybe just move on from him in general. A team will use his services, but this team is definitely getting younger. The D-line is trying to get younger as well. Most likely, Javon Hargrave will take over as the leading defensive tackle if he continues to develop in this offense, if he can adjust to this 4-3 scheme that we're going to run, that we've always ran, because he comes from a 3-4. Will Milton Williams really come out of the woodworks and surprise us? You know what I'm saying? Will Marlon Tuipulotu come out of the woodworks and surprise us? The Eagles have committed a lot of assets to their D-line and offensive line, as they've always done, because you win in the trenches no matter how good or bad your team is. The trenches dictate how good your team can be, and the trenches will also dictate how bad your team can be. So losing Fletcher Cox will definitely be a hard act to fill, a hard act to replace. But nonetheless, we have to keep in mind that Fletcher Cox is entering his 10th season. He will be 31 years old come into the season. To be quite exact, he'll be 31 in December. So we have to really keep in mind, do we really want to commit long-term money to a guy who's aging and who most likely he is going to get slower? Again, stopping the run will always be his strength. He's always taking up double teams. A lot of guys haven't really lived up to expectation when it comes to taking advantage of Fletcher Cox taking up double teams. But nonetheless, I wish Fletcher Cox would get more sacks. I also wish he would get more pressures. But nonetheless, Fletcher Cox, I've always been grateful for your services. I supremely appreciate you for doing what you've done for this organization. A multiple-time Pro Bowler, an All-Pro. And it's really just that simple. I think the Eagles should move on from Fletcher Cox after this season, especially to get rid of that contract and to give them more flexibility when it comes to the cap space. But that's just how I feel. I'll leave it at that. I'm your humble host, Tone DESHIELDS II, and you guys have been locked in on your dose to chalk it up, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge to the game. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. Fly Eagles fly.